Hi YouTube, welcome to my channel, Major Girl Poppin' T News. So today we're going to be talking about stimulus checks, about the 1400. So let's get it poppin', let's go. So the third stimulus check you get a 1400 check. It says here President Joe Biden 1.9 trillion coronavirus relief package plan will provide a third round of federal stimulus checks to millions of Americans yet. While the landmarks on both sides of the allies have expressed the support for the proposal, there is less agreement on who should be eligible for the 1400 direct deposit payments. Also, it says here, it said Congress Democrats are moving forward with Mr. Biden's relief plan through a process called the Budget Recollections, which will allow the Senate to approve the afford without any Republican support. As the process moving forward, the House and Senate commence will discuss sending parties before drafting a voting on demonstrations. On February the 4th, the Senate approved a bipartisan plan endorsed by the Democrat Senator Joe Manchin and Republican Senator Susan Collins to block upper income citizens from the next round of stimulus checks. Nobody, however, the plan doesn't define upper income. That the measures would ensure that the struggling families that need it the most will receive these checks. Congress said in a statement. The administrator added containing whether all the citizens, the Democrats, will support Joe Biden's full plan with Joe Manchin already expressing doubts about the need to send the 1400 stimulus checks to those that might not need the money. Paul Answer, Chief U.S. Economists at Capital Economics, told investors in a research notice. On Thursday, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen told the CNBC that the stimulus package should be moving forward through Congress over the next few weeks. Getting closer to establishment, she noticed that Mr. Biden wants to measure sure that the next stimulus check is properly targeting so that it goes to the people in need it. Not to very high income people who don't need it. But she added the companies is still in need of a stimulus with millions of American people and families continue to copy with income and job losses. We have an unemployment rate that, if the priority measure in some sense are really close to 10%, Yellen said. In addition to cover over 9 million people for unemployment, we have 4 million who dropped out of labor, force under the 2 million who have seen reduced hours. The U.S. company continues to struggle with higher than normally layoffs and other setbacks. Almost 800,000 of people apply for jobless benefits. in the weeks ending February the 6th had dropped from the previous week, the Labor Department said Thursday. At the same time, new economy data released on February the 17th indicates that the second stimulus check is working and extended, with retail sales jumping from 5.3% in January, or 5 times higher than expected. Those outsized gains in big tickets, discretionary items, struggles the $900 billion fiasco stimulus passed late last year is working as intended, with most Americans receive $600 per person stimulus checks early in the month, while monthly unemployment insurance payments were increased. Notice Michael Parsons Center, U.S. economists at the Capital Economies in a report. At the same time, it's clear that the millions of households are still struggling from incomes and job losses. The numbers of America applied for jobless enrolled last week to 861,000, reserved several weeks of steady declines, the Labor Department said on Thursday. The latest job numbers paint a break. The labor's market picture out for economists. Emily Blossom said in a Thursday research report. The economy remains weak. The jobs recover has lost millions, and there are nearly 10 million fewer jobs than in February of 2020. The Center on the Budget and Policies portal said on Thursday. It added the millions should be helped by Mr. Biden's proposed stimulus package. The House Democrats complained their markups of the bill without any measures. Changes to Mr. Biden $1.9 trillion proposal, higher security. Oh, sorry guys, my eyes is watering. It's okay. Sorry about that, y'all. Okay. Then it also says Hunter and May wrote in February the 12th research notice. The bill will move through Morehouse's committees, likely research a vote during the week of February 22, he said. The notice was that the Senate will vote on the bill by beginning of March. Excuse me. Okay, so that's what it's saying, guys. So they said that they will vote it by the beginning of March. Then it says, here's what the experts are saying about the next stimulus checks and who may be eligible. Why are income limits an issue? The first two governments stimulus checks $1,200 for the first round and $600 for the second round. Also set income $1,000 that made higher income $1,000 eligible for the payments in both early rounds. Single people who earn up to $75,000 and married couples who earn up to $150,000 receive the full payments. People with the higher with the higher earnings got smaller payouts as their income rose until the payment cut off entirely for the high income families. In the first round, the passed out stood at $99,000 for single people and $198,000 for married couple. In the second round, So I'm going to stop right there because some people, excuse me, some people did not get their $600 yet. Now, if you did not get it, you still qualify, but you have to file on your tax return, okay? So just be mindful. Now, if you made too much, then you're not qualified for the second and the third, okay? If you did not see the first, the second, and then the third about to be coming, then that means you're not qualified because you made too much money, basically. That's what they're saying, okay? So, we should be receiving it soon. We don't know when it's going to come. But they did pass the bill, which they did. They did pass it. And so, we'll see how it's going to go. We're going to see how it's going to turn out. So now, oh, excuse me, my eyes are watering and I think I let makeup in my eye a little bit. Okay. Then this also is another one. It says stimulus checks updated, 1,400 checks, healthcare extension, and COVID-19 relief bill. This came out 7 hours ago. Okay. It says stimulus checks, update COVID-19 relief bill, includes extension of health care coverage, 1,400 checks for more, meaning increase to federal minimum wages. It said Washington Democrats and Congress plan to use the 1.9 trillion COVID-19 relief bill to achieve, evidence that President Joe Biden campaign promised to make affordable health care available for more American people. Then it's also said reserves the Trump's era declined the numbers of the people with health insurance. They proposed to increase the federal sums to help people buy private health insurance plans to help to make those more that people need. They wanted to offer a new advice to the 12 states that have not yet expanded medical under the Affordable Care Act to those government to temporarily to pick up the health insurance costs for those have lost their jobs and their employment. Sponsors coverage during the pandemic. Explaining medical, the more the gorgeous society than the other changes related to private insurance could increase the numbers of Americans enrolled in health insurance by at least at 5.3 million, according to Ventures Airlines, including one by the Congress Budget Office and another by the Kaiser Family Foundation. Washington-based Breach Organization, the Center on a Budget and Policies, firms inmates that under the proposed, if all the remaining states expand the medical, they would receive nearly 22.8 billion in additional federal funding over 2 years The House Joint Committee on the Taxation Arrangements that mortgages, subsidies, and other changes affect private insurance will cost the federal government $45.5 billion over 2 years. It took my breath away when I saw the proposed, said Judy Rumman, director of the Tennessee Healthcare Campaign, which achievement for affordable health care in the Bama state. Democrats are pushing other measures in the COVID-19 relief packages as well, including expanding the time new mothers on Medicaid can receive benefits after giving birth, and enrollment soon to be released in favor of the people in Medicaid. Additionally, the Biden administration last week announcement it was restoring permissions that Trump administrations had given the states to require Medicaid enrollees to work in order to receive benefits. The Trump administration clears 13 states to impose the works requirements, but counts have held them. A cause involvement work requirements is now before the U.S. Supreme Court. The COVID-19 package is likely to land on Biden's desk. The Democrats control both houses of Congress, and in the Senate, they are likely to use the legislation for the budgetary matters that will allow them to sidestep Republicans' progress, meaning they only need a simple majority. The health measures could be modified before the final House approves or after the legislation reaches the Senate. Those packages which currently includes 1,400 stimulus checks for most Americans, funding for COVID-19 vaccinations, and increase the federal minimum wage to 15 per hour could pass. Also will pass Congress by the end of next week. Okay. So there you have it, guys. So that's what they are saying. Now, they heard they did pass the bill, so hopefully that we will see something soon. Hopefully that the 1,400, sent to our banking accounts soon, hopefully. Okay. It said those things determine key. Okay. I think this one is sure. Okay, so this is another one, guys. It said those things. It said those things determine how quickly you'll get your stimulus check. What to know include the key dates. It said you'll want to know the key dates. It said first, the second stimulus check goes out, and the stated. The first stimulus check goes out, and the date that your personal payment could arrive there could be weeks in between the two. Tax season could probably help you or hurt you too. We map out some of the dates your check should come. It said Congress is moving repeatedly to approve the 1.9 trillion stimulus package that includes the Thurston's checks for up to 1,400 per person, especially compared with the amount of time it took to approve a second stimulus checks. But although you could see cycling more money in a new stimulus payment, even once that changed the formula to become more targeting. There who might not qualify, the date that you should personally expect a third stimulus payment is still a little squishy. We know that on Monday the House of Representatives plans to make up the proposal it has so far, and it seems to bring the bill to a vote by the end of next week. The complete plan in place requires a little ping pong between the House and the Senate, but would job the stimulus package pass, Republicans opportunities for the fast approval. March 14 is the global date when they're hoped to pass the overreaching bill, but that's only one part of the timeline that decide when you see your check. Another fact is how long it could take the IRS to begin the counting. The stimulus payments and a third in which payments group you'll be in to receive it that changed before and could change again, and it's for questions about the arrival of the Thurston chefs during the 2020 tax season. So read them more, okay? It says the stimulus check timeline date when your check arrived. If a stimulus bill passed by March the 14th, we can take an educated guess as to when the IRS could start sending the first payments based on how quickly the IRS turned around the previous checks. However, many obtainers remains. For example, it's possible that notifications could flip a week while finalize the bill. If the Senate makes changes, it would have to go back to the House for a vote, and the timeline to hit March the 14th is already tight for the pen of legislations. In addition, the IRS is also dealing with tax returns, and it isn't clear how the agency and the new Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen would present deliver the third checks and the tax returns. Also, who also expect that the IRS would process payments groups the same way it did the first and the two checks by groups. We mean people who receive stimulus payments via a direct payments, as well as checks or on the EIP cards. Okay. So that's what we have here. These are the dates. It says stimulus check passes Congress Friday, March 12th, Monday, March 22. Stimulus bill signed into law Sunday, March the 14th. Tuesday, March 23. First direct deposit check sending week of March 22. Week of March 29th. First paper checks Senate week of March 29th to week of April 15th. April 5th. first EIP cards week of April 5th, week of April 12th. Claims for Mrs. Stamina money opens May 3rd, okay? Said it twice. And there you have it. It said which stimulus payments group you could be in and why it could still change. When you get your stimulus money, it could depend on how you get it. That was larger truly with the first two checks. There are always some explanations and will likely play out smartly this third time around. Direct deposit recipients typically get their stimulus check faster as involvement by the two rounds of payments, but both times were have been issued involving deposits going to temporary accounts that were rejected by the banks. The IRS told the Senate in January that some people who received a physical card of EIP card the first time may get paid by the other method the second time around. And often we've heard of people who receive direct deposit payments the first time finally get an EIP card in the mail. And it's not an electric transfer weeks after the IRS tool said the payments was issued. While you won't have the final say in how you get your payment, we're making it sign up for direct deposit with the IRS as part of your 2020 tax return. If you're ordinary filing taxes, if you already have an account, make sure your details are correct. We also stress that you attempt to file them quickly. One, you can find an explanation to submit your taxes later. You'll still have to pay them now. Whether that will help or hurt you may get a little complication. The other payment group loosely defined by us includes Social Security, beneficiary sympathies who receive payments a different way the first time if they're part of the SSI or the SSDI programs, and people with more complex centers that could lead to permanent issues or holdups. Okay? Receiving their money, people in different child support situations are more example. You'll see as are people who are increasing and people with complex relationships and senators. How taxes season might complete your third stimulus check payment. Since the third stimulus check is likely to drop in the middle of tax season, taxes are due April 15. The IRS may have to calculate your total based on the most recent tax filing it has. That would be your 2020 tax if you file early, or 2019 taxes if the check is already before your tax return is. This could also disqualify some from getting a third stimulus payments. If you're on money, you might have to wait a year to claim it until You file your 2021 taxes and 2022 according to the latest proposal. By the mid-March 10th, means American may have already received their tax refund, which could make it tricky for the IRS to straighten out the problems or without the refunds after issuing. Is there a way to make your own 1400 arrival faster? There may be a few things you can do to help speed up receipts of a third payment announcement. It happens, for example, signing up for direct deposit with your 2020 tax return, which put you in the process for a third stimulus payment. And if you move recently, tell the IRS and your USPS here are our other explanations for how people can make it more likely they'll get their second stimulus checks faster. Notice that there could be some changes to certifications that may not apply to possible a third stimulus checks. Will the IRS have another deadline for sending out the payments? The January 15 deadline for the second stimulus checks was right into the next of the bill without explanations. It is immediately clear if the bill text would adopt another cutoff in the future, or if that took into account the IRS overlap needs to process the stimulus checks and prepare for the 2020 tax season. Last year, the April 15 tax date was extended to July 15. Another one who didn't receive or are part of their second payments must claim it as part of the IRS recovery rebate credit on their tax return in order to get it, even if they have notified status and aren't typically required to file taxes. Also, what some groups of people need to know about the stimulus checks. Stimulus checks are necessary in sizes, phases, and situations. Here are the guidelines for older adults, people who retired, and vegetarians, people who see SSI or SSDI, other tax non-filers, family with mixed status, citizenships, households with dependents, or people are trying to understand if they receive their own check, family with child support situations. Here's everything you need to know about stimulus checks, including what to do if you run into problems which enter for the first and two payments. Okay, that's all I have for y'all guys about the update on the stimulus checks. Please like and subscribe to my channel. Y'all guys have a wonderful night, and y'all stay tuned. I will come up with another video sometime again tomorrow. Thank again. Please like and watch my channel, and please like and subscribe. This is Major Girl T Poppin' News. Y'all have a wonderful night. Bye.